Who's coming with me?
It's a short shot. We the source now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sickness to play the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. It's a short shot. We the source now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sickness to play the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. Kill the cancer, you can call me a sick assassin. Cut the chains, you can call me LeBron James. Make a decision, but you never had me in derision. Changing the vision, but mark them that cause division. For real? Never in submission like I need permission. Nigga steady telling lies like a politician. Nigga need to cool it down, but we the new edition. Yes. Yeah, the name is the source. Check the reinvention. For real? You think we not prepared for the fallout? Watch us stack this information. Watch
Come. All right, family. So first and foremost, man, I want to give all praise to Abanawi Yahweh, Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai, man, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? We are here to have a discussion, man, concerning a few issues in the nation. For those that don't know, my name is YirmeYah. Please say the Yah. I am the leader of the House of the Redeemed Servant located at Oklahoma City. I'm also the senior ranking officer over the Office of Accountability with the Sicraii Yasha'Allah, YirmeYah Yasha'Allah, Torah Law Enforcement. Right? Got a special guest in the building, my dear brother, YirmeYah. Man, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Praise the Most High, Shalom Yasha'Allah. Your brother, YirmeYah Yasha'Allah, also known as Isaiah Yasha'Allah. I am Shatar wa Nagayad wa Shapat, which would be officer, and Nagayad will be city community organizer with Sicraii Yasha'Allah, Yasha'Allah. And currently, the mission, the objective is to help minister right here in the city gates of Puerto Rico, which is where I'm located at right now, San Juan, with our fellow minister, Yada Allah. So it's a blessing to be once again on the source here with YirmeYah. And to everybody, Chag Samer, all right, happy feast day. And remember, we are still in the time frame of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, so do everything that you can to keep the feast time frame holy. It really does matter, not only to the Most High, but it should matter to your own soul, all right? So with that being said, it's a blessing to be with you all. Shalom.
Cut, all praise and glory, man. So I've been blessed, man, to also link up with this brother. And we have started a wayward soul ministry. What does that mean? We all are wayward souls. We all are trying to find our way. The Bible says our righteousness is as unto filthy rags. So we're reaching out. Well, we've been reached out to by brothers and sisters concerning those that are not a part of any camp or affiliation or assembly. They never really had any tutelage or any teachers or leadership to lean upon. So this is not a camp. It's not an some sort of affiliation with anything. This is a multitude of teachers. We have 4 to 5 different teachers from different schools of thought, different ways of life, teaching and helping building up these new brothers and sisters to come to the fullness of their understanding and to be able to interact. See, the interaction, brothers and sisters, is very important. If you don't have that, you're just sitting back watching YouTube videos, you're not going to fully come to understanding. Why? Because you're not going to be able to ask questions and get elaborate breakdowns on certain information. So we always encourage brothers and sisters to seek out leadership, seek out teachers, seek out brothers that will labor for your benefit, because it is for your benefit. So we always encourage that. And if you want to, if you're interested in the Wayward Soul group, you can reach out, hit my DM, YirmeYah on Facebook. You can reach YirmeYah at Isaiah Yasha'Allah on Facebook, and we'll get you linked in with the group. All right. So again, we're gonna have a Bible study this Sunday coming up and it's going to be about the Feast of Unleavened Bread. What is the spiritual meaning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? So we're here to deal with this particular topic, dealing with our brothers over at Sicraii. We know a lot of you are interested to hear our take on it, as we are representatives of the Mashura Yasha'Allah Banya Yasha'Allah organization. And, at the end of the day, when you look at certain issues that arise in the nation, certain issues that arise with your brothers, and certain shortcomings that come, that happens to your brothers, you have to always remember yourself. You have to always look yourself in the mirror and find out whether or not you have the mental fortitude, right, to handle that type of situation. Because what that's going to do is that's going to alter your mind when it comes to judgment. You need to remember that whenever the Bible constantly asks you to remember, right, yourself when someone else makes a mistake or take a fall. Why? Because that's going to alter your judgment. Shout out to those that are watching, man. We got YirmeYah in the building, man. A lot of our consistent regular family is here, man. So we want to say peace and blessings to you all. We appreciate you all tuning in. And this is a serious issue in the nation right now, right? And,
very.
And we're not here to sweep nothing under the rug. We're not here to condone anything that took place. First and foremost, first thing I want to speak under the authority of my elders is that we do not condone this behavior. We're not in agreement with it, right? There's a multitude of other things that have that those brothers could have done, right, to make a better experience for the brothers and sisters that traveled there to experience the Passover. But I want to make this extremely clear to everyone. When a situation arises and you become a gainsayer, and you begin to pile onto brothers, you begin to beat down and tear down brothers, and forgetting yourself, forgetting a situation that could arise in your life, and what type of perception you would want and treatment you would want from the nation.
Right.
You understand? And so this is what we're here to address. We're here to address you, Israel, because we have a problem. The nation of Israel has a problem, and it goes way back, and it stretches all the way back into antiquity. And it's this bloodthirsty, gainsaying spirit that needs to be addressed in the nation of Israel. Right? So we're going to go into a multitude of scriptures concerning this particular behavior, but we want to make it clear that we don't condone these actions on one of the highest holy days that we have as a nation, right? But we're not gonna condemn brothers and cast them out and tell them they can never come back. What kind of spirit is that? You and I and everyone are wicked and evil at times. I'm not sitting here in no high seat pointing my finger as if I ain't made no mistakes. I've made a multitude of mistakes.
So have I. Amen. Hallelujah.
And I yield towards the long suffering and patience, which is in the spirit, Galatians 5, right? Which is in the spirit that we're supposed to have. So we're going to remember that when one of our brothers take a fall, man. Correct, YirmeYah, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, Khan, absolutely. So to see what the events that took place happened, first, I do want to give a salute to the members of Sicraii. A lot of those brothers that are of that specific community, I have not only built with, but have been edified by. But I've also edified through the Spirit of the Most High some of those brothers. So first, I do want to give a salute to all of Yasha'Allah. All right, because the objective for us is to bring each other together as a nation. one of the biggest things that we have to be mindful of is when you do get on online, and this is why I say death to Facebook. When you get on online, when you get on social media, and you see, Yasha starting to rail at or go in on another Israelite, your first obligation, and I got to say this, I called Aliyah Izar. I called Guerrilla Hebrew twice. All right. Now, I didn't get an answer, but I have the records to show that I called. I sent messages. I contacted Deacon Haka. I contacted Hassad. All right. So I reached out to Sicraii first, doing my due diligence as being a fellow brother in Yasha Allah first. All right. So I haven't done any videos speaking on this topic, but it has been addressed to us. We during the time frame, YirmeYah, man, we had so many Yasha Alim hitting us up all day. And we just kept hearing the same words over and over, which a lot of those words, I'm not going to repeat. All right. A lot of those words I'm not going to repeat. Shalom to you, King Seth. Double honors to your father and double honors to your mother. Much respect. Shalom. So I'm not going to repeat a lot of things that I heard, but I will say this. The fault that Israel, that's lying on Israel right now, I understand it's because of the zeal that we have for our Alahaya, for the God of our grandfathers. It's because of the love and the zeal that we have that a lot of Yasha Alim were saying the things that they were saying. But unfortunately, the fault did come in the form of sin through gainsaying, through tail-bearing, through backbiting, all right, not having enough information and forming a speculative opinion before actually communicating. Or I heard Priest Daniela, respect to Priest Daniela. All right, shalom to you, Zaquan, Yahweh Hashem, Hamashiach El Shabrakatah. All right, Priest Daniela, he gave a testimony saying he was one of the first ones to call and reach out to Eleazar from Sicraii. His name is actually pronounced Aliyah Izar, but Eleazar is lawful to say for short. But Priest Daniela reached out to Aliyah Izar, as myself and others did, and that's the right thing to do, is to reach out. All right, to don't be involved in tail-bearing, gainsaying, going up and down, sowing discord, rapidly doing videos. Because I'm going to be honest with you, YirmeYah. When I seen the video, here's something I need to ask YirmeYah. Are you aware of Yasha Allah's involvement in this video?
Yeah, I actually when I seen the video and I heard his song on there, I immediately reached out to the brother. And when I contacted him, he told me directly that he didn't have nothing to do with that video. He didn't put his song on that video. That he didn't have anything to do with that. So from his mouth, what he told me, he didn't have nothing to do with that.
Thank you so much for that. The interesting part was that I seen a YouTube page that was Yasha Allah's YouTube page, and this was go ahead.
No, I didn't say that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, and from the YouTube page, it had his name on it with the video. So that's a great testimony to hear out of his own mouth that he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, listen, I'm not saying he didn't share the video or nothing like that. I don't know about all that. But I know I asked him directly, did he make the video and put his song on there and put that out? And according to what he told me, he said no.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And see, Yasha Allah, what we have to do is we have to not be so quick to automatically, because if a person is in error, if we go to them the correct way, the Most High will defend us. If we find and we think that a person's error and we go about the situation the incorrect way, now we're in error. And I believe Elder YirmeYah is going to touch on that when I'm going to assist with whatever I can. We are in this for the nation. We're not in this to tell-bear, to bash, to do anything like that. But sometimes the scriptures are true. Open rebuke is better than secret love. And that's just flat out true. So if there's some rebuke that's going to come, then the rebuke is just going to come. I would like to commend and salute. I would like to commend and salute the members of Sicraii who did do a response video. And in the video, they mentioned their own individual stances. with their own individual faults. So let me go ahead and give that salute. All right. And again, if any of the members of Sicraii who know me personally would like to reach out to me, communicate, talk about this, then you can. All right. And again, if anybody in Yashala, if you're still, upset about the situation, rightfully so. I'm going to say rightfully so. All right. Now, I'm done, YirmeYah, on this one. What we did see, it wasn't wise. All right. And I won't say too much before you go into your education. So, and for those who have little ones that are in the truth, who look up to not only myself, but the House Redeemed servants, Mashiach Yashala, who look up to us, this is a perfect example of why we have to be more circumspect. All right. We have to be so very circumspect on how we put the perception out there of not only who we are, but how we represent our King Christ. And with that being said, I yield the floor.
Come, all praises, man. And that's exactly right. And before we go into these scriptures, because we're gonna let the Mashiach Yahushua speak, which is the Bible, right? So I says Christ says, "No man come up to the Father but through me." Through what? Through the Bible, His Word, right? Not the physical book itself, but the words contained in the book is the Mashiach Yahushua.
Right.
If you want salvation, salvation is through a Mashiach Yahushua, which is the Bible. So the understanding through the Bible is the benefit that is what you get to make it into the kingdom of heaven. So that is that. When it comes to whether a personal, because for me, this is not about whether or not a brother can go to the club, or a brother can go to a lounge, or a brother can go to a bar, have a drink. For me, it's not about that. You're a grown man. There's no scripture say don't go to a bar. So I don't see that in the scripture. So what I'm saying is that when you are responsible for a Passover or any type of event, it is your responsibility to make sure that those that are coming are made to feel comfortable, right? So it's not about what you personally feel or what you're personally okay with. It's not about that. It's about the perception and you being mindful of others, right? And the perception that they're going to have concerning the event that you are responsible for. So you have to be mindful of others, right? And so once you take that in consideration and you're looking for venues or places to have the event, and there's no venue, there's a multitude, via the words of my elder Nathaniel, there's a multitude of houses. That you could have rented out and got a place for the family. If you says one or 200 or 300 people, there's places and homes that you can rent out that will facilitate that. So now, and via these brothers' own testimony, they say there was things that they could have done differently. And I want to honor those brothers, Sicraii, man, for that. I want to honor those brothers for taking responsibility for the circumstance within itself, right? And being mean concerning not their own personal perception of whether or not it was right or wrong, but the perception of others. And they taking responsibility for that. So we're not going to just keep beating down a dead horse. You understand? Again, that's what this is about.
So I apologize, YirmeYah. And I agree, we're not going to beat down a dead horse, but there are some topics that still need to be touched on with this specific subject. And the reason being is because I don't want to continually go over, the things that they've already spoken on and others have spoken on. But we do need to address the fact that this just shows us that there's even some that's in leadership that do not know how to properly keep the Passover or the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So we have some that are in leadership, and if that means we have some that are in leadership, that means we also have some that are just now coming into the truth who don't know how to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And that's something that I'm going to be touching on and speaking on specifically. All right. We have our brother, his name is Yadiah Allah, and I'm going to be sending him the link to this, so he might be joining us soon. Just to let you know, he's doing his ministry also. But just to give you a heads up, But YirmeYah, just give you a heads up. But so I agree with YirmeYah. We're not going to beat a dead horse, but this subject needs to be talked about because it's not like, oh, this was just like a small thing. This is a pretty big deal. This is a very big deal. And the reason being is because we have these little ones that are coming up into the truth, that are seeing things, that they're watching us every day, every minute, every single moment. There's a new Yasha'alium that's coming into this truth. And for those of you that have been in this truth for, X amount of many years, we have to absolutely, and I'm going to use this word again, become more circumspect. Did it come through? All right. Did that word come through? We got to become more circumspect. Okay. So YirmeYah, I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're going to touch on this subject. I know even after we do this, I'm going to do an individual video speaking on things that we should not be doing, locations we should not be at. When we looked at the Messiah, he told his apostles to go and get a house. All right. There's no way around it. Okay. And if we had the Messiah himself, and he said a great multitude came to him. Well, I know that more people came to Yahushua than they come to us young elders of Yasha'Allah. I know more elders came, or no, more people that wanted healing, okay, to keep the holy convocations came to Yahushua than they come to such schools, bodies, camps, congregations as mine, yours, Sicraii, HODC, IUIC. It doesn't matter. All right. It's our obligation to keep the Most High's high holy day set apart and sanctified. There is no respecter of persons. All right. So if I get passionate, just know that I love my brethren, but I will be speaking for the virtue of the Most High. I yield the floor.
Yeah. So all praise and glory. All right, King Seth. What's going on, brother?
I just I saw what happened with Sicraii. I seen the Facebook post and I seen the video. And first of all, I want to give respect to the brother. You know what I'm saying? Karata Zayah. That's what I call the brother. Karata Zayah. That's when I first met him. That's what I know him as. And I salute that brother because YirmeYah, Karata Zayah, James Cassell, D. Red, Yashar, Diamond, these people at the source, they actually walk this walk. And I'm not pretty sure. I don't really understand or think that people understand of the walk. You can talk it all day, but your actions speak louder than your words. I see Karata Zayah doing his thing. I see YirmeYah doing his thing without no excuses, no nothing. And see, my thing is that the blatant disrespect for y'all's holiday. Now, y'all know I don't agree with nothing in the Bible, but the disrespect for them, and they know better. See, this is the walk of my yacht. We know better, so we do better. They knew better. Y'all got videos with girls with their behind out. Y'all throwing up gang signs, doing ice. But you got brothers that's out here actually really walking and talking this walk. See, that's the difference between the Hebrews and the Hebrews in y'all circle. You understand? If we're gonna walk it, we're gonna talk it. If it. And that's what we do. And that's what these brothers that I see do. Now, like I said, the blatant disrespect, that ain't new better. That was not part of the panel. They knew they had no business doing what they did. Now, like y'all say, y'all got some brothers that spoke out about it, said some things about it, and you know, try to make amends with that. But my thing is how are y'all gonna let these brothers disrespect one of y'all most sacred holidays? Like, this is unacceptable to me. Like, I saw the video, I saw the things that they did, and I can't understand why would you do these things when you know there's people out there like Karata Zayah, YirmeYah. You know what I'm saying? James Cassell, a D Red, your Shaw. You got all these people out here, a Diamond. You got all these people that you know that's going to do this and get on you and tell you, man, brother, that's not the correct way to celebrate the Passover. Why would you do such things? And to me, it's no excuse because you have previous Passovers that you just have done that I've watched on y'all video. I've watched last year Karatas how y'all do his Passover. His Passover was great, man. Hey, I'd have loved to come to his Passover. Like, hey, I don't even celebrate the Passover, but I'd have came over there and ate some of that great food that he was cooking, some of that good food that was on that table around there. You see what I'm saying? I'd have been loving the family, the brotherhood, and all that. You see what I'm saying? But why would y'all go and just blatantly disrespect these people? Why would you disrespect my friends like that? And I'm West African. You disrespecting my friends. Why
Yeah,
would you do these things?
we're gonna address
Why would
these
and sit there
things,
and
man.
think that it's okay?
We're gonna address these things, King Seth, man. I appreciate you, brother,
Go ahead,
coming
do your
on.
thing. I apologize for filibuster.
That's all right, brother. That's all right. I'm gonna drop you in the back chat, man. You can stay around. I'm gonna just drop you in the back. Appreciate you, brother. All right, man. So yeah. I mean, it's a lot of emotions, right? It's a lot of emotions. Hold on one second, King Seth. I don't wanna kick you all the way out. I'm trying to free up the screen here. If I kick you out by
Hey, bro,
accident, brother.
I jump off. I just wanted to go. I just wanted to say that what I said because at the end of the day, like you said, bro, I'm that Pharaoh that hey Jacob, man, y'all hey, you bringing your family? Hey, come on over here, man. We got a big table full of food. We got some eyes up, bro. We ain't using. Go do that. That's me. And you know what? I'm gonna let y'all have it. Hey, peace, Karatazaya. You know I love you, bro. You know what I'm
Shalom. I love
saying?
you too,
Hey,
King Seth.
my y'all, you know you my G. Love y'all back. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but I'm gonna jump off and I'm gonna spectate so y'all can get some more
I
of y'all
appreciate it.
little
I
go herders
appreciate
in
it.
here.
Shalom. Peace and blessings to your family.
Yeah, man. So I know, family. It's a lot of emotion around this whole thing, right? But let us be mindful of a repentive soul. Let us be mindful of that, man. Right? So I'm gonna share my screen, man. I'm gonna go into
Now, while YirmeYah, while you do that, I do want to speak on this subject real quick. While YirmeYah is getting that, all right, I have to say what I know. I believe YirmeYah and all of those of us who are truth speakers, truth tellers, we will say what we know. Listen, there's a word, and everybody in Yasha Allah should know this word. Okay, this word is called reveling. All right, and if anybody like come up against it, you know, that's out context. Like, not I want you to, right? The word's called reveling. Okay. One of the objectives of the Feast of Unleavened Bread is to help us to acknowledge and to be, encouraged to get old things out of us, old leaven. All right. Reveling, and any of you can look this up for yourself. I'm going to hold on to it, but I'm going to read these two scriptures first. The first one is Galatians chapter 5 and verse 21. I'm not interested.
Let me get it for you.
Yes, sir. Myself personally, I'm not interested in. We're going to get Galatians 5:21 and 1 Peter chapter 4, and we're going to start at verse 1 on that one. And we're only going to read down to verse 3 on 1 Peter. Now, me myself, if it's Yasha Allah, then I absolutely, that's my only circle. I don't understand. Again, this is me. And there's members of, of all different community camp schools, congregations that I've associated with, from Messianic to non-Messianic, and I've always held through the power and glory of the Most High, the same stance of being sagacious, of being one way of speaking and being convincing. And that is, if you're doing stuff that's contrary to my stance of how I would like to Reverend Ma'alahaya, is I will either tell you to stop it in front of everybody. That includes if you're buying and selling on the Sabbath. That even includes the type of music that we're listening to, because all of this is spiritual. All right. YirmeYah, you got that, King? Galatians 5:21. Do you mind if we start?
Galatians chapter 5, verse 21. Envying, murderers, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
And now when we see, thank you, YirmeYah, let's get the next one, please. And I'm going to speak on this while we go forward. May we please get 1 Peter chapter 4. We're going to start at verse 1 and read down to verse 3, please. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1 through verse 3, and I yield the floor on this subject. When we see this subject of the word reveling, you have to know what reveling means. Reveling means wild parties. It means parties that involve drunkenness. Now, I know Yasha Allah gets together. I've been to many convocations. I've been to many assemblies, many summits, all of those things. And it's absolutely beautiful. One thing I will not tolerate, if I'm in the midst, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear reveling music. I don't want to hear worldly music. It's not a part of our culture. There's an evil spiritual vibration that goes along with that makes you even move your body a certain way. It makes you even think a certain way. It takes you back to when you used to be. It doesn't reflect the new man of who you are when you're still reveling. All right. The word reveling in Greek is the word komos. All right. It means to carouse. It means riotous procession, to have drunkenness, to be frolicsome. That's that old school gangster dancing that I do whenever I hear the G songs. I'm so corny now, man. I don't even know how to say the catchphrases. I don't know them. It means to be rioting. So this goes into the nightclub, nightlife attitude vibration. There is no reason that Israel should be a part of that. We are a holy, set apart people, and that's not a part of being set apart, especially on a high holy convocation. If any of you young baby brews just came into the truth and you're just now learning about this, how to keep the Day of Atonement, how to keep the Passover, how to keep, which is what's going to be next. We're going to have to, not next, but we're going to have to really focus on the Day of Atonement now, okay? If you don't know about how to keep Passover, if you don't know how to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread, we're going to speak about that briefly, and I'll try to not be too long-winded. We don't want to be a part of general feasts. We want to be a part of holy feasts. We don't want to be a part of drinking parties. I know everybody in Yasha Allah drinks. I drink. Not everybody. Not everybody in Yasha Allah drinks. A lot of Yasha Allah drink. I drink. But when we're in this time frame, if you're in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you're not even supposed to be around any yeast. There was a brother who came and visited us the other day who brought yeast. And guess what? He was sharply rebuked. And then he was taught the scriptures, and then the brother discarded and threw away his yeast. So it's up to us to not only set the standard, but to hold the standard that our forefathers put out there. YirmeYah, I yield the floor. Would you like to read that, please?
Yeah, come on. 1 Peter 1:1.
Baba Kushah through 3.
Come on. Peter, an apostle of Mashiach Yahushua, to the strangers scattered abroad throughout Pinus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Benaiah, Salakia. 1 Peter 1:2. Elect according to the foreknowledge of Yahweh, the Abanawa, through sanctification, Salakia, of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Mashiach Yahushua.
Stop right there, please. So we see that it's the elect, all right, that have been chosen through the blood that was given. You got to remember this too, Israel. During the time of Passover, we are looking at the time when Yahushua gave his life for us, going immediately into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right. The first time we're looking at the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is a week-long convocation, the first time that you actually partake in that unleavened bread, when you're partaking in the representatory body of Christ, is during Passover. And immediately after that, you go into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You go from one high holy day to another. His blood was shed for us. His blood was shed. His body was torn into pieces for us. His beard was ripped out of his face for us. He was disfigured and marred more so than any man. And that's not a part of a time to be involved in reveling. Don't give me the conversation talking about this is a feast. What do you do at a feast? Well, it's a feast. What do you do at a feast? Don't give me that conversation. Because the type of feasting that Israel does and the reveling that the world does, the two can't mingle. It's completely hypocritory. I think I just made up hypocritory. I think I just made that up, but I'm going to use it's hypocritory. Put that in the Hebrew slang book. We can't be a part of the ways of the world and call them the ways of Yahweh. So his blood was shed for us. Go ahead, call out Baba Kusha.
Come on. Unto you and peace be multiplied. 1 Peter 1 and 3. Blessed be the Elohim and Abanawa of our Hamashiach Yahushua, which according to his abundant mercy have begotten us again unto a living hope by the resurrection of Hamashiach Yahushua from the dead.
Stop, please. Thank you. Wonderful reading. So we have to pay attention to the time frame of how important Pesach is. We have to pay very close attention to what the subject of Passover is. It's not just a feast. And if you do hold it as a feast, then it needs to be held in the Hebraic custom. And for those of you who didn't know, who did partake, and you were just excited to be a part of something, then, there's a such thing as sin and ignorance. All right, Leviticus chapter 5. YirmeYah, may we please get 1 Peter chapter 4 now and verse 3. All right, so what we just looked at was 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 3 specifically, please. What we just looked at how important the blood of Hamashiach is and how he died for our sins. Not so that we can partake in reveling, whether you did it in ignorance or whether you did it in what's called presumptuous sin. The scriptures in Leviticus chapter 5 and 6 says you are guilty. So again, we salute and we commend the members and the brothers and the elders of Sicraii who have spoken up for themselves and have spoken up for the congregation and have also testified that they will be doing the makeup Passover. If you were there on that night, you need to do the makeup Pesach. Flat out. You don't know how many of the bottle girls were on their periods. You don't know how much leaven was in the building. I would rather have Passover in the house with one brother than have Passover with 6,000 people in an unclean location. And that's not to cast shame. It's just to say that we have to do a higher standard. We have to apply higher. As it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so be it, return and seek him how many times more? 10 times more. I yield the floor. YirmeYah, will you please read 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 3, and that'll be it for me on this subject.
Come. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 3. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles. When we walked in lasciviousness.
When we walked in lasciviousness. I can speak for me. I can speak for me. I have the authority to say, no, I don't want that. You have the authority to say, listen, I'm gonna be very frank, as I usually am. I've been with some very beautiful women with some very exotic bodies. And now that I'm in the truth, some of those same women, they'll approach me, they'll speak to me. But I literally don't talk to women that got leggings on. I literally don't. If I see you and you got all of your whatnot showing, then you're not in the same place. You're not even in the same headspace that I'm in. I have been on occasions to where I had to go and meet with sisters, and they came outside dressed in ways that was contrary to my alahaya. And my first mind is go back in the house. Not even my first mind. My first words is go and change. Oh no, you can't get in my car. My cars is fly. I ride in fly cars because that's what my brother taught me, and I believe in being clean. So you can't get yourself in here. I will ask a sister right up front, hey, are you on your flower? Is this the time of your season? Right now, are you Tama'ah? Well, what's Tama'ah? Oh, it means unclean. See, we used to walk in our lasciviousness, and that's the point. But now we don't walk in that lasciviousness. It's not appealing to us. I don't want to know if you're single. I want to know, sister, do you know what your nationality is? Daughter of Israel. Daughter of Israel. Did you know that you're not allowed to prostitute yourself? Daughter of Israel. YirmeYah, man, I'm really apologetic, man. But this is a very sensitive subject, man. So please forgive me. I'm not trying to go in too much. But you know, I just gotta speak as the Spirit gives, man. The water. Now, those women, I'm not going with the terminology bottle girls. I'm not impressed with terminology like she's not a stripper, she's a bottle girl, she's a prostitute. Let me tell you why. Because they show off their bodies. It's called an innkeeper. The antiquity of that word is called to be an innkeeper. I have ribs that have worked in the services, and they never showed off their bodies. So it's not just about body shaming. It's not just about calling them strippers if they are or if they are not. Strippers take off their clothes, flat out. I don't care if you're in Atlanta or I don't care where you are. I'm not impressed with being around naked women anymore. Let me read this real quick. YirmeYah, I know what I said, man. Bear with me. We're almost done. This is a very important book that all Israel should have. It's called The Perpetual Commentary on the Revelation of St. John. I'll give you the definition of the book. Matter of fact, I'll send a link. All right. Watch this. Lasciviousness, right? YirmeYah, we read that again. I'm going to read this.
Come. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reveling, banqueting, and abominable idolatries.
Flat out. And that's where we're going to stop at. Everything that we just named off shouldn't be things that we see. And I understand that things happen. Sometimes we make mistakes. They're not the best judgment calls. I've done it, and I've been lovingly, respectfully rebuked. And there's probably going to be another day for me. There's probably going to be, we're not out of the woods yet, but we have to be more mindful for the children of Israel. All right. Let me give this point. If you are a priest of the 12 tribes of Israel, especially from the tribe of Levi, you are not allowed to kick it with harlots. If you are a Levi, all right, you are not allowed to even be around harlots. So I encourage everybody, go back and read your Torahs. Go back and read your weekly Torah portions, which is why we read these, so we can stay on top of these subjects. This book is called The Perpetual Commentary on the Revelation of St. John. YirmeYah, can you name off some of those things that we just read within Peter 4 right there? Can you name off some of those things that we're not to do or be around?
Reveling.
Reveling. The definition of reveling is wild parties. All right. Drinking parties. If I ever go to a party, summit, convocation, you better believe I'm DJing, or I'm going to be involved with the DJing process, because I'm not going to let the children of Israel hear flim, flam, flim. If you want to listen to it in your car, that's your business. If you want to listen to it in your house, that's your business. But we have virgin ears. We have some men and women that came out of that world and they don't want to be a part of it still. So it's very surprising when we still hear it. We should not be a part of reveling. There's no way around it. We need to have some Yasha Allah. You got plenty of artists in there. Plenty of artists in Israel. You got YirmeYah. You got MYMG. You got Sicraii has their own wonderful music. You got LOZ. GOCC puts out music. Peasy. John Boy. You got Daughters of Israel that do righteous music. So this reveling goes into that flim flam filth that was heard. What else?
Banqueting. Abominable idolatry. Lust. Lasciviousness. Excess of wine.
So we can see all of these things, and with all of these things, we have to be circumspect and mindful. It's going to take you, brothers and sisters, to say no, stop, don't. It's going to take you to go up and say, hey, Ak, I feel uncomfortable with this. Yo, Ak, Ak, this isn't right. And you can do it. And you can do it in love and respect. But don't allow yourself to get sucked back into the ways of the world under the guise of it being a holy convocation. Now, I'm going to speak briefly on as far as the women that we've seen in the videos. All right. I will not call them, I won't say they're professional strippers, whatever, but I will say this: in the form of lasciviousness and lust, that is why they're dressed the way that they're dressed. There is no way around it. They're called innkeepers. Okay, so again, let me read this real quick. This is the perpetual commentary of the Revelation of St. John. Okay, this was written back in the 1600s. Before then, because when you go and get the book, it's written just like a King James 1611. There's no S's in it. It's spelled with F's. The C and the T connect. All right. It has Hebrew in it. It's written with Roman numerals. Now watch this real quick. All right. This subject right here is called the judgment of the whore. The judgment of the whore. Okay. To understand exactly what a whore is, we must first understand the notion of the word in general. Please pay attention. And when by considering how many is cited and how may be compared to a woman, this title of whore, when best discovers her qualities. The Hebrew word zanah, which is torn by, and it says it's the Greek word, and I don't know how to read that Greek word, which is torn by a Greek word, signifies not only a whore, but also an innkeeper. An innkeeper. You know what an innkeeper is? An innkeeper is a bottle girl. An innkeeper is the one who comes and gives you your drinks, picks up your drinks, cleans up. They walk around with the sparklies and they show off themselves. They get on top of the bars, and now I'm going back into the Western days. Go back into the Western days. Didn't those innkeeper girls give you the drinks? Didn't those innkeeper girls get on top of the tables and kick their legs up and sing a song and dance? Weren't you able to meet with those innkeeper girls on the upper rooms throughout the saloons? Priests are not allowed to be around innkeepers. Let's read. But also an innkeeper, which is called a bawd, B-A-W-D, look that up. A trading woman. Pay attention to these words, because I'm about to read the exact same thing out of Flavius Josephus. So we're reading out of right now the perpetual commentary of the Revelation of St. John. We're going to read the same rebuke out of Flavius Josephus. We are not allowed to be there. No, you cannot just go and lay with a woman and have sex with her. And nobody said that, but I'm saying it. All right. No, you cannot just go and be with a woman that's a harlot and then be like, yo, you're all of a sudden just look, you can't do that, Yasha. And then beautiful garment. And then if it does come up as such, your first objective is to save her soul, to bring her to Yahushai. All right. But also an innkeeper, a bald, a trading woman from Zana means to feed. Oh, they just brought our food. They just brought our drinks. To entertain strangers. And because of such women did generally prostitute themselves or other women to their guests. Hence, the word came figuratively, a bald or a whore, that they might have always women to be their proofs, and usually traded in slaves, either in sellings of the persons. That's pimping, all right, persons or themselves or others to them, as to fulfill or pacify, all right, in the leviance, which was the trade, and this was frequent. Now I'll give y'all the page documentation so you can see it for yourself. You Negroes, North American Indians, Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, those children of Israel, you need to know this. We are not allowed to kick it with harlot type women. We're not allowed to be around them, and especially if you a Levite priest. Especially if you YirmeYah. Now, this is Flavius Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews, and from here, I yield the floor, and I tell everybody, thank you for being patient. Again, we are not against anybody. I'm actually rooting and cheering for Israel every day. But the scriptures also said, put a mark on the foreheads of those who are sighing and crying for the abominations that they see. This is the book of Flavius Josephus, book number 3, chapter 12. It's in the section that's called Several Laws, and it talks about marriages. So when we look at the portion of marriages and women, let's see what Flavius Josephus says. This is line number 2, Flavius Josephus, book number 3, chapter 12, and it's line 2, paragraph 276. As for the priests, he prescribed to them a double degree of purity. So priests can't be in nightclubs. Cancel it. Cancel your date or meet me at the park. A double degree of purity, for he has restrained them in these instances above, and moreover forbade them to marry harlots. He also forbade them to marry slaves or captives. He also forbade them to marry slaves or captives as such as got their living. This is just my job. I'm not a stripper. I'm a bottle girl. No, you're an innkeeper. This is how you make your living. You ain't even allowed to be around us. Matter of fact, how about our daughters? How about our ribs? Because in all of the complications that me, YirmeYah, other brothers I know, our ribs serve us. Our sisters, those who want to be betrothed to us, our daughters serve us. And wait a minute, he also forbade them from marrying a slave or a captive, and such as got their living by cheating trades and by keeping ins, as also a woman departed from her husband on any account whatsoever. So no keeping in women's, all right? Whether you want to call her a bottle girl or you want to call her a server or a waitress, this is just how they dress. I don't have no control over their garments. Well, I do have control over whether you're going to be around me or not. I do have control whether my men, friends, brothers, my comrades, I do have control over how they're going to view me based off of who I'm going to allow around me. So if you've never read that or if you've never heard that, we've got that directly from the book. It's called the Judgment of a Whore. And I didn't even go into the judgment part. It just described what a whore is, innkeeper. You go to Flavius Josephus, you see the same thing. Women cheating trades and by keeping ins. Okay? This is the same thing as a server. And then the Most High says to use not much company of a woman that is a singer. That's a stripper. That's an entertainer. So with that being said, we have to make better decisions, not only who we allow around us, but we have to make better decisions on how we choose, not only for ourselves to be seen, but how we're going to let the Most High be represented. Again, salute to the brother King Seth for coming on and making the declaration that he made, because I have to stand by him. This was a very not good look for the children of Israel. When I say children, I don't mean just us as a nation. I mean the babies of Israel. I yield the floor.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I believe that it's definitely a necessity that we identify right and wrong. But I need to speak to y'all for a second, man. I'm seeing a lot of comments, and I need to speak to y'all for a second, man. I want to make this extremely clear to everybody. Right? Karatazaya, can you give me Galatians 6:1? Galatians 6:1. I see a lot of comments, man. Everybody,
we're getting Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1 right now.
Yeah, okay. All right. So listen, I see a lot of
forgive me. Yada Allah, he's on with us. Yada Allah is going to be our reader for the night. He's going to be our minister.
Okay, come through, brother. Welcome. All right, mister, let me say this, man. I see a lot of comments. Everybody got something to say. Man. Oh, these brothers are wicked. Oh, these brothers need to be cast out of the community. Oh, these brothers shouldn't be calling themselves chief. Let me say something to y'all, man. I want you to remember what you are letting fly out of your mouth when your day of temptation comes. Will you be able to stand and resist and not make a mistake? How many of you will not be able to make a mistake? How many of you can say, from this point forward, from this very moment forward, I will not make a mistake? You know damn well you're going to make a mistake. You're going to do something that you ought not do. And you're going to want mercy. You're going to want patience.
Right.
You're going to want understanding. You're going to want that. So you need to think about that before you just let things hurl out of your mouth about the next man. I know for an absolute fact, I'm going to want mercy. I'm going to want someone to say, hey, brother, you made a mistake. You need to dust yourself off and you need to get back up and you need to try again. I don't want to be ostracized. I don't want to be cast out. I don't want to be made a mockery of when I'm going through a tough time, when I'm going through a struggle. Look yourself in the mirror, Israel, and remember, when you go through something, how will you be treated? Read that out. Galatians 6:1.
This is Galatians 6:1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
You want to restore one in the spirit of meekness, not in the spirit of mockery, not in the spirit of gainsaying, not in the spirit of tale-bearing and backbiting. You ain't gonna want that. I'm going through something traumatic. My wife is suffering. My children are suffering. And you online, social media, making a mockery of my suffering. Israel, you need to remember that.
Con.
It says to restore one in meekness. What else do it say?
Consider thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
That's right.
The Bible says, consider yourself, Israel.
That's right.
It's a lot of comments, man. You brothers and sisters got a lot to say. But the Bible told you and I to remember ourselves. Lest ye be what?
Lest ye be also tempted.
Lest you also gonna be tempted, man.
Lest ye be also tempted.
We know and we can see what is right, what is wrong via the scriptures. I can pull out 999,000 scriptures of what's right and what's wrong. The question is, brothers and sisters, how do you restore one who has fallen? How? Mockery? Huh? No patience, no mercy. This is what Christ came against. Let me get the woman that was caught in adultery, man. I don't know what that scripture is off the top of my head. Give me that scripture with the woman that was caught in adultery with Hamashiach Yahushua. Baba Kashah, man, please. How do you restore someone, man? This is our problem as a nation. We bloodthirsty, man. We love it. We celebrate. 900 people watching when it's a scandal. But when you're doing a righteous teaching on how to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you Negroes are nowhere to be found. Get 900 views on a scandal, and you get 27 views on righteous teaching, man.
On the Torah portion.
Right. You Negroes are something else, man. It's about you, Israel. It's about you. How do you restore a one? We're going to see what Hamashiach Yahushua, Ba'ashem Hamashiach Yahushua, how do you restore somebody, man? This wasn't about the woman in an act. It's about you Negroes picking up the stones. That's what it was about. It's about you. And remember what you did to Stephen, man. You stoned him to death because he proclaimed the Mashiach Yahushua, man. And the mercy and the love that he gave, man. You Negroes are something else, man. Look yourself in the mirror and look what you're doing, man. You all over social media, you damn castrating brothers. Oh, these brothers, this, yeah, they wicked, man, and that, all that, da. How do you restore somebody, man? You got that woman in adultery?
Come on.
Bring it out for me, Baba Kashah. Read that, man.
Bring it out.
This is John chapter 8, starting verse 9. And they which heard it, being convinced by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last.
Yeah, hold on. Go. Give me a couple of verses before that, because I want to, right when she was caught in the act and she was through at Hamashiach Yahushua's feet, give me a couple of verses before that. Because the question is, how do you restore one? I don't want to see Sicraii ran out of the community.
Right.
I want to see those brothers molded and shaped and built up to what they need to be so they can continue on providing the service that they've been providing. Because you Negroes ain't done half of what these brothers have done, man. What have you done? You ain't done a damn thing but run your mouth, man. You're running your mouth. And these brothers are traveling the highways and byways doing the work, whether or not they're bumps in the road, whether or not they're making certain things wrong, whether or not they got certain doctrines or understandings incorrectly. They're doing something. What the hell are you doing? Not a damn thing but running your mouth, condemning and pointing your weak-ass finger, man. Read that up.
We'll go to John chapter 8, verse 2. Verse 2. And early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. This is Yahushua. Verse 3.
Come on.
And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now Mosiah in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. What sayest thou?
Right. Okay, stop right there. What sayest thou, Mashiach Yahushua? We caught this woman in an act. We go to the Torah that tells us she should be stoned. What should we do? What saith you, Mashiach Yahushua? Let's see if Mashiach Yahushua started to go into the woman's history and say, you know what? The clothes you got on and the area that you was at and you was over there in the room and the people that you associate with and did the Mashiach Yahushua do that? Did he do that? Because that's what you Negroes is doing. Huh? Read.
They said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him, that Mashiach Yahushua stooped down, and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he had heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast the stone at her.
Woo! Hold up, brother. Did a Mashiach Yahushua start tearing this woman down, asking her where she been, who she been with, what was the circumstances of the folly in which she found herself in? Did he understand and know that people are opportunists and they look for ways to tear somebody down, man? You want to destroy Sicraii, man. That's what you want. You want Sicraii dead because they didn't accept your doctrine, man. We got to put, let me make this clear. Guerrilla Hebrew ain't even barely 30 years old, man. These are young men making a major impact in Israel, man. Making a major impact. Now, am I justifying sin? Am I saying I agree with what took place? Hell no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, how do you restore somebody, man? How do you restore somebody? We about to see through the spiritual power of Mashiach Yahushua. How do you restore somebody, man? Read.
Verse 8. And again, he stooped down and wrote onto the ground. And they which heard it, being convinced by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Mashiach Yahushua was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When the Mashiach Yahushua had looked up,
right there. So now, even now as we speak, we have viewers dropping off. Right now. Users leaving this channel right now. You know why? Because you thought you was gonna come here and you thought YirmeYah was gonna
go ahead some gossip.
Yeah, you thought YirmeYah was gonna come here and jump on the gossip train with you. And yes, Sicraii is evil and wicked and no.
Yeah.
That's what you thought. That's what you thought. But no, you are evil and wicked, Israel. You condemners. You gainsayers. You brothers that don't got no mercy, man. So, one by one, they started to leave. Mashiach Yahushua knew exactly what to say at the right time and the right moment. Ye without sin cast the first stone.
That's right.
And I honor those who drop the stones. It's an honor. Those that drop the stone because they knew within themselves.
Right.
They knew, hey man, look, hey man, I committed a sin yesterday.
Man.
Let me drop this stone. Right? Let me throw it. Hey, I'm not gonna be the one to cast the stone.
Let me drop it and put my hands in my pockets.
let me go ahead and put this stone down because I know damn well I'm not gonna be the one to cast this first stone because right.
Right.
So now Mashiach says the right thing at the right time. Honor to those brothers and sisters that dropped the stones. You should have. And that's what I'm asking you, brother. Again, this is YirmeYah's addressing the nation concerning the Sicraii situation. This ain't about Sicraii. It's about you. Israel, it's about you. And you learning how to do what those brothers and sisters did at this moment when they dropped the stone. You got to drop the stone, Israel. And learn how to restore one. Let's see what the Mashiach Yahushua said. Read, brother.
Verse 10. When the Mashiach Yahushua had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman.
Woo! Woo! Hey, so Mashiach lifted up and said, see nothing but the woman. Everybody got ghosts. Because they know damn well you got some skeletons in your closet too, punk.
Right.
You got something going on with you. It just ain't been exposed yet. Right? The next scandal is coming next week in the nation of Israel.
It's
new scandal next week. And it might be you.
Today for me, tomorrow for you.
Right. Right. So, hey, I'm not perfect. If I'm the one that's making them, I'm going to say, hey, Israel, look, I need mercy. Pray for me. Right? I'm trying. Each one of us is trying to make it into the kingdom of heaven. Right? And each one of us can find ourselves in certain circumstances where we don't make the right decision. And at that moment, we need to learn how to restore. Read up.
Where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? Verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
She said, no man, Elohim.
Watch
and
this.
Mashiach Yahushua said unto her, neither do I condemn thee.
Woo! Oh, brother, we can't skim past that.
Well,
hold up now. We can't skim past that. Mashiach Yahushua is talking to a woman that was caught in the act of adultery, which is something that is worthy of death, brothers and sisters. And he said out of his mouth, this is the king of the universe, the Alpha and Omega. And he looked at this woman and said, hey, neither do I condemn you. Woo, I need that. Amen. I need that.
I need that.
I got a new song out right now called If It Wasn't for the Sacrifice of Christ. I'm a goner, man. And you think I'm going to get into a conversation with a brother that don't believe in Christ, and he going to talk me out of believing in Christ? You got to be out of your damn mind.
Right.
Mashiach Yahushua said, hey, neither do I condemn you. Woo! I need that, man. I need that. Help me.
Right.
Restore me. But he left her with a parting word. This is the parting word we leave into Sicraii. What did he say, brother?
No,
what did he say?
go and sin no more.
Read it again.
Go and sin no more.
Go and sin no more, man. I got a clean slate with a Mashiach Yahushua, man. I got a clean slate, and I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. The difference between King David and Saul. Right? Why was King David forgiven, but Saul wasn't forgiven, brothers and sisters? I'm going to tell y'all something. And Sicraii, if you're listening, a Guerrilla Hebrew, I'm going to tell you something, man. It's straight from me and from my heart. When I saw you on Sinetta, I didn't like what I saw. I saw King Saul. But the next night, when you came and you stood with the brothers and you issued that apology to the nation of Israel, King David, man.
Right.
Let me get
Right.
Psalms
That
51.
was a very noble apology. Very noble.
Yeah. Let me get Psalms 51:17.
The book of Psalms, chapter 51, verse 17.
This is the difference, fam. Shalom, James Cassell. What's going on, my dear brother?
Shalom, Mark. Just tuning in, trying to check out what you brothers got going on.
Come, man. We appreciate it, man. We are rebuking the nation. This is the rebuke of Israel. That's what's going on right now. Right? This is the rebuke of you unforgiving, long-suffering Negroes out there that's looking to destroy the world. That's what this is about. Shalom, Joshua, my brother.
Shalom, Mark.
Shalom to the panel. Shalom, brothers.
All praise. Shalom.
So what we're doing is we're looking at the difference between King David and King Saul. What was the difference? This was the difference. Read that out. Psalms 51:17.
This is Psalms chapter 51, verse 17. The sacrifices of Yahweh are a broken spirit.
A what?
A broken spirit. A broken and a contrite heart.
Contrite.
A broken and contrite heart. Come on, man.
O Yahweh, thou wilt not despise. Thou wilt not despise.
The Bible says that the Most High loveth a broken and contrite heart. This is what King David had. King David committed adultery, man. His child
and murder. Whoa. Adultery and murder.
And murder, right? And not his firstborn, but one of his children. His children was taken from him, man. He was hurting, man.
Right.
He was hurting. And he felt bad for what he did. Did Saul feel bad? Hell no. Saul said, oh, yeah, well, since you caught me, Samuel, since you caught me, let's go ahead and sacrifice a couple of turtle doves and let's go ahead and get a couple of scapegoats and then we'll be good with the Most High, right?
Right.
That's the difference, man. That's the difference. But Amashiach Yahushua, even though he caught the woman in adultery, he didn't say, go ahead and you good with adultery. He say, we cool with you living that way. No. He said, go and sin no more. Anybody that has been overtaken in the fault, ye that are spiritual, restore one. Restore one in the spirit of meekness, man. This is what we got to do. This is about you, Israel. And what you doing to Sicraii, man. Because we know damn well next week is going to be a new scandal, and that scandal just might be you.
Right.
Right?
YirmeYah.
Look at Matthew 7:1. Matthew 7:1. We're going to read down to the 3rd verse. Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. This is what the Most High put on my spirit. I had a mixed emotion, Karat Desire, concerning this, man, and Joshua knows. I had issues with Sicraii. But when I started to examine what was being done, I felt conflicted in my heart. And I said, man, listen. And I appreciate you, Karat Desire, because you are identifying what is right and wrong in the scriptures. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, listen, Israel, this is what's wrong. Hey, I'm rocking with the scriptures. But once these brothers have come and make a public service announcement telling you and I what they did was wrong, and it's a multitude of things they could have done better, who are you not to forgive these brothers?
Right. YirmeYah, let me get this real quick, man. This is the word contrite. All right. For all of our body out speakers, the word contrite is da ka. And the word da ka, it even sounds like what you know, the pronunciation, it sounds like the context of it. It means to be crushed. It means to be collapsed. The ka. The ka is to beat on your chest and say, I'm sorry. To beat on your chest and say, I'm crushed. I'm broken on the inside. Man, I'm messed up. And that's what King David had. All right. King David had a dakah, a crushed. That's why we smite on our chest. We dakah whenever we feel broken on the inside. So when we read a broken spirit and a contrite heart, all right, everybody remember that for yourselves. To be mentally broken, to be emotionally broken, to be crouched down. That's what it means to have a broken spirit and a dakah, contrite, crushed heart. All right. Go ahead. I yield, brother.
Salakia, yeah. Hey, I was looking for it, right? And as I was watching the video, I was looking for that. How you say it?
D-A-K-A-H. Dakah.
I was looking for the dakah. I was looking for that last night. Right? And look what the sister says here. They didn't even see the live last night, huh? Exactly. You got people in the comment section right now, ain't even see the brother's apology to the nation. They didn't see it. All they know is they heard Sicraii had some strippers at the Passover, and it's party time. We don't celebrate the downfall of Sicraii. You got to be out of your damn mind. You are evil, wicked Negro, man.
It's a lot of unlearned. So the Most High tells us to hear the whole matter. And a lot of Yasha'alim haven't heard the whole matter. Sometimes you got to sit back and watch every single video, every single conversation. You got to watch every single, and the brothers did come with dakah rawachim. They came with crushed, broken, humble spirits. All right. So yeah, Khan, it's not wise to speak on a matter if you haven't heard the whole matter. Yeah. All right, I just put the words in the back chat, YirmeYah, of the Ka in Hebrew.
Right. Shout out to my brother Hezekiah, the sons of Jacob, man. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. You know, we as a nation need to learn how to, because we have to take care of our own. We got to take care of our own. And if brothers are doing things incorrectly, guess what? We need to go see them brothers. We need to reach out to those brothers, find out what's going on. That's what we do in the Office of Torah Law Enforcement. We come to see.
That's right.
And you better have the right spirit through the spiritual power of the Most High by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Have the right spirit when it's your time to get corrected. Because I know what that feels like, to be corrected and rebuked sharply. A lot of you brothers and sisters don't know nothing about being rebuked. You running around here, as my brother Joshua said the other day, you running around here, damn, watching porn. You got damn drink. You're breaking the Shabbat every week. You're doing a multitude of evils. You hear about Sicraii, then you go do 900 posts about the downfall of another man, knowing you're an evil, wicked Negro. The only difference is don't nobody see what you're doing.
Yeah, and I gotta say there were some, and this was noticed that there were some who were diametrically opposed to Sicraii because of individual outfalls or downfalls, and maybe they were with Sicraii at one point in time. And I became aware of this once I seen the activity, and I seen other Yasha'alim hitting me up like, hey, this member used to be with Sicraii, that member used to be with Sicraii. And unfortunately, these were some of the ones that we seen that were pushing and propagating it the most. And whenever you see that, Yasha'Allah, that should give you a huge red flag to immediately pull back your personal feelings, pull back your personal thoughts, and then investigate. The scripture says that we are to give diligent inquiry. This means diligent question asking. I wanted to get Leviticus chapter 19, verse 16. All right. I wanted to get that real quick. All right. And this is an absolute staple for all Yasha'alim. Leviticus chapter 19. All right. Verse 16 is where we're going to start. All right. So the Most High, he teaches us the standard on how we're supposed to be internally within ourselves. All right. It's an individual thing to be an officer, to be a judge, to not only know that you're going to be scrutinized, but also to learn how to watch out for it when it's coming. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 16 is where we're going to start at. Now, this also, of course, as you all know, is a part of our weekly Torah portion reading. All right. It is illegal to do. Will you grab? Are you on the screen?
Yeah, I'm on screen. Leviticus 19:16, Khan.
Khan, Yada Allah's going to bring it out.
Leviticus 19,
verse 16.
16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Stop right there. So it is illegal to go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Thy people, we are Yasha'Allah. Listen, me and Yada Allah and the other officers, I'm pretty sure YirmeYah, Mashra Yasha'Allah, Banya Yasha'Allah, we were receiving phone calls and videos and bling, bling, and all type of notifications all day. And what we all did was restrained from going about and saying the same things that we were hearing. All right. Again, I personally gave three phone calls and over 6 messages to 3 of the top members of Sicraii, including Ali Izar, Hakah, and Hassad. All right. It is illegal for us to go up and down as talebearers amongst our people. Understand that. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor.
And this is where the majority of Israel is in fault at right here, is because when it says, neither shall you stand against the blood of your neighbor, this literally means I didn't have a problem with them, but now since you said something, I got a problem with them. Because I'm standing against the blood of my neighbor. Right. Yada Allah didn't have a problem with me until he seen you put up a post, and the post said the brother Karatazaya, he whoopty wham. Now my brother is standing against my blood. So it is illegal to go up and down as a talebearer. It is illegal to stand against the blood of our neighbor. And then the Most High puts his seal of approval on the end of the verse. What does he say? He says, I am Yahweh. Verse 17.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother.
YirmeYah, scroll down if you can for us, YirmeYah. Baba Kushah. Khan, we want the people on the screen to be able to see and read it. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
So thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. It is illegal for you to walk around with a grudge. I have a problem with Sicraii. I have a problem with Mashra Yasha'Allah. I have a problem with House of Redeemed Servants, YirmeYah. It is illegal. You are an open, walking testimony of how Yahweh told us how to not behave, and the works of the flesh will show. The fruits of the spirit, they will show. The works of the flesh will show. So no talebearing, no gossiping, no backbiting, no standing against the blood of your neighbor, and no hating your brother in your heart. Go ahead.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin.
Perfect. So we are in any wise to rebuke. Now we are Yasha'Allah. So understand this, rebuke is going to come. All right. But just be careful how you rebuke and how you judge.
Right.
You better be very careful. So the Most High says, thou shalt, which means you have permission to, in any wise, rebuke your neighbor. If you got to pull the sandwich out of your brother's hand. All right.
Exactly.
If you, whatever, thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Verse 18. We have permission to lovingly correct each other, but we don't have permission to be gossipers, talebearers, backbiters, sowers of discord. Verse 18, Bible Quashah, please.
Thou shalt not avenge.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not avenge.
You shall not avenge. I got a problem with all of these blue screens and pop-ups that YirmeYah got. But it's illegal for me to go and start doing stuff on my screen to mess up his time.
Right.
Thou shalt not avenge. See? Nor bear what?
Any grudge against
Wait, some grudge.
Any grudge.
A little grudge.
Any grudge.
I like him, I just don't. Oh, wait, I love him, I just don't like him.
Right.
Any grudge.
I forgive him, I just don't forget.
Any grudge against children.
The Most High said, any grudge against the children of thy people. So do you see how far off we are, Yasha'Allah?
God.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. But what?
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. For I am Elohim.
For I am Yahweh. The Most High puts his name in all caps at the end of these statements, and he tells us what to do. He tells us how to behave. He tells us how to love. He tells us how to correct, and he teaches you how to keep your heart clean. If you keep these ordinances, you'll keep your heart clean. I don't have a problem, and I tell most brothers when I meet them, I love you when I first meet you. The scripture says that we are to prove a friend. This is true. And also, when I meet you off rip, I automatically love you. I let you paint your own picture of who you are after I meet you. If I give you this dry erase board and you write your menorah and flowers and you make the dry erase board look real nice, all praise. That's how I'm going to perceive you. But if you take that dry erase board and you take a nail and you scratch it up and you take a hammer and you hit the dry erase board and you done messed it up, well, that's the image that you done painted for yourself. But according to Leviticus chapter 19, I have to love you. And love is easy. It's not hard. Forgiveness is not hard. You know what is hard, though? Checking yourself. Right. Making sure that your spiritual gauge, or say, there wasn't no strippers there. All right, you know why? Because it would have been worse if he would have lied, and then it turned out that there actually was. Plus, the Most High said, thou shalt not deal falsely, nor lie ye one to another. So it's illegal for us to even lie. But you know what was also illegal? All of the Israelites that kept saying strippers and strip club and strippers and strip club.
Right.
That was illegal. So make sure you check yourself the next time a situation or event come up. There's nothing wrong with correcting your neighbor. There's nothing wrong with saying, yo, Ak, this was wrong. This was not a good look. If you correct the young or the wise, you will become beloved of the Most High and man. But we have to do it in the spirit of correction, but in meekness, hospitality. All right. Sometimes there is a sharp rebuke. There's a rebuke that's not comely, but it's still effective. We got outside the cube, Nehemiah. Yep. But they'll tell people like me that I'm wicked because I enjoy the strip club and am an atheist. Okay. So with that being said, the Most High tells us, especially if you're a son, I don't care if you claim Kemet, Egyptology, I don't care if you're a Mormon, Seventh-day Baptist, Pentecostal. If you are a descendant of the 12 tribes, you're an Israelite, and I'm always going to stand on that. You can choose to be Catholic, but your bloodline is a whole nother thing. The point of me saying that is to say that the Most High tells us to not use much company with a woman that is a singer. That's a stripper. All right. I'm going to tell a brother that he's wrong for going to strip clubs because you're involved in whoredom and fornication, flat out. All right. I'm going to tell a brother he's wrong if he's watching Pornhub. Why? Because you're not supposed to be involved in that. All right. And if we are the children of Israel, we're supposed to believe in our Allahiyah. We're supposed to believe in our power. So what I will say is that I don't know what they would say to you in that case, but this is what your brother Karatazaya would say to you. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. Leave whorish women alone get you 2 or 3 ribs that can satisfy you anytime, 4 ribs, 5 ribs, get you as many ribs as you can handle, brother. Emotionally, mentally, financially, however. And this, because the scripture says, be thou pleased at thy wives' bosoms. Don't you know if you got 3 wives, you got 6 breasts? Think about that. You got 3 wives, you got 6 titties. And they belong to you, is my point. Brothers are giving false reports saying there are strippers there, but they was wrong. And you know what? Sons of Jacob, OKC, Sicraii addressed that. YirmeYah addressed that. I addressed that. And I salute you for addressing that. But I do have to say this. They were not wrong, because those women were not only scantily clothed. According to the definition of what we read, those women were actually called innkeepers. Okay? So those women did take off their clothes to wear a certain type of outfit so that could be a part of their work uniform. Now, they might not have got up on a pole and danced and twerked and all those other things, but the fact of the matter is they weren't dressed as the daughters of Israel. And the Most High says what? Thou shalt not prostitute thy daughters. Okay? So we're not even to look upon the beauty of a maiden. You get one of them good brothers like me, like YirmeYah, I don't even know half of my brothers' wives' names. You know why? Because I know my brothers. In an extreme case of emergency, I couldn't pick out none of my homies' wives in the lineup. And they was like, brother, which wife is mine? I'll be like, you tell me. Why? Because we are that circumspect to where we don't even look at other men's women unless they introduce and salute. So we got to be more circumspect. And sons of Jacob, I got to tell you the truth. I can't bear false witness. The fact of the matter is, these women did not have on modest apparel. They were not dressed like the daughters of Israel, even though it was not a strip club where they were per se. The women that were in there that were innkeepers is the real, if you want to use the real terminology, they're called innkeepers. But the point is this right here, Guerrilla Hebrew, all right? The leading members of Sicraii, they've already spoken up and repented for their transactions. They've already repented.
I want to magnify that.
Last thing. They also said that they acknowledge what they could have done better. So for them to acknowledge their own faults and then to acknowledge what they could have done better, that shows a great sign of that Psalm chapter 51. All right, which is called dakah, or to be crushed or to be broken, because it takes a very strong brother to say, I messed up. You know what? I messed up. Now, next Passover, we should be all, if we have another Passover, because in all honesty, the Most High said, if we do not keep the Passover, or if we do not keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread, he will cut off our soul from amongst our people. Now, that's a terrifying threat. So the Most High's will have another Passover. But I know this, next month, on the 14th, going into the 15th day, according to Numbers chapter 9, the Most High gave us an opportunity to get it right again. So there is a makeup Passover, and I encourage everybody to keep it. All right, not just Sicraii, but I encourage you to keep it. I'm going to be keeping it because we got a lot of repenting to do for ourselves. The sister Amayan Shalom Mina, she said, Khan, it was not a strip club. They have the name of the place, and it was shut down just to them besides the staff. Okay, I'm going to yield the floor to Elder YirmeYah. All right, and Tawada for your comment, Akwathamina. Amayan, Shalom.
All right, man, let me say this real quick. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, family. I want y'all to see something real quick. All right, this is Rod Davis, right? Rod Davis says here, he says, why? Let me see. I want to make sure it's on the screen. Can y'all see that?
It's up there. It's up there.
Okay. Rod Davis says, why wasn't there wives there?
I don't get it.
Oh.
There.
Why? Listen. Why wasn't there wives there? What the hell are you asking us for? Yeah. We don't know why wasn't there wives there. What the hell wrong with you, brother? If you want to know why wasn't wives there, go find Sicraii and ask them that. Why are you asking us? See, this is the mockery that I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is messy as hell. Are you trying to make a point yet?
They're trying to paint a
make
debauchery. They're trying to paint some debauchery with this. That's what it is. If you watched the live stream yesterday that they did, they explained that their wives were in attendance there and children were there. The children left and some of the women left at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So that lets the people know that you guys didn't even watch that live stream last night and didn't even examine the matter, but you cast judgment.
Right.
You understand? So like everybody out of order on this. Everybody out of order. You can condemn them for what you think you can condemn them for, but at least condemn them for what they actually did. And get the facts straight. If you're gonna cast judgment. Come on, man.
But this is exactly what I'm talking about, family. Like, you want to make a matter worse, right? Like, I can't even imagine that adultery scene, right? Just imagine, right? The woman is being walked in through the crowd, because you know there's a lot of people, right? So just hear me out. She been walked in through the crowd. You probably hear women like, ooh, oh my God, she was caught in the act of adultery. She's an evil, wicked. Oh, she's about to be stoned. What a harlot. I can just imagine Israel just as gossipy as they could be. Mm-hmm. Okay? And no sooner than a Mashiach Yahushua spoke the most powerful words that a man could ever speak. Let him or her or they that have not sinned cast the first stone.
Right.
But you want to ask us, why wasn't they wives there? What the hell do we wasn't there? What are you talking about, brother? But this is an example of messiness. Israel, Rob Davis, whoever you are, this is messy as hell, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. What did you do for the Passover, Negro? Where were you at? Huh? This is what I'm talking about, man. And I guarantee, you got something else you want to say, Rob Davis? What else you got to say here?
He said, "My apologies." My apologies.
All praise and glory.
All praise. All praise. Hallelujah. That's what we talking about. A broken spirit and a contrite heart, man. The Ka.
Right.
Now, and let me give a testimony, Rod Davis, just to let you know, Khan. That's right. Khan, the Ka, just to let you know. And thank you for your humility. All right. Sicraii did give a testimony, and there's 2 witnesses that are on here, and I'll be the 3rd, because I literally had to sit back and watch every single video. My office is called Correspondence for Mashiach Yasha'Allah. That's one of my offices, is Correspondence, which means I had to personally contact not only Sicraii, but other elders that are in the government of Israel, so I can find facts before I could even speak today. So upon investigating, and Elder YirmeYah, which is the elder of accountability, all right, he decided also, in the wisdom and power of the Most High, to use the same judgment of holding off until it was time. But just to let you know, Rod Davis, again, and I'm not coming at you hard because, again, the Most High bless you for your humility. We did get a testimony, Khan. We did get a testimony that there were Sicraii women, and also Sicraii children that were there. What would you say the time frame was that they was up in there until when?
Till 10 o'clock. They had to leave at 10.
And at 10 p.m., some of the women, if I don't know if all, but we do know that there was a report that during the time frame that was utilized for ceremonial purposes, that it was a family event. All right, so I yield the floor on that. And again, Rod Davis, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. All right, so I do salute you for that. Thank you for that. We really want to be circumspect, and like YirmeYah said, we have to contact. All right. We have to contact each other. And let's get this real quick. This is a very important question. Daughter of Zion, where in the Bible does it say the Passover, the Passover? Let me read this again. Where in the Bible does it say to keep Passover anywhere but your home? That's a good question. Except, you know what? This is one of the things that agitate me. When people ask questions that they know ain't in the scriptures, like I hate stuff like that. It's just so, it's so like, yo, where in the Bible I hate that. So according to the scriptures, we are to keep the Pesach in a set apart location. Now that's something that Sicraii is going to just have to eat it. They're going to have to chalk it up. Let me go a step further, daughter of Zion. First, let me commend you and say the Pesach is supposed to be kept as a holy convocation with an assembly of Yasha'Allah inside our dwellings. I would never suggest or advise the Pesach to be kept in a location that is not designated for Israel to be sanctified in. All right. My first objective is who amongst us has houses. Now, if you have, and this was the testimony. This was the testimony that if there were 200 to 300 Israelites that were there, okay, first of all, when we read the book of Exodus chapter 12 and we see how Pesach is to be kept, it was to be kept in our homes, all right? And we were to split up and divide the feast ceremonial unleavened bread, the lamb, the wine, and the bitter herbs, all right? And each portion was to stay in that location. The wisest thing that I can suggest that should have been done would have been, instead of renting out a venue, we have enough members of Sicraii in California, wherever, everybody's coming here to visit. What we're going to do is all of my main officers, we're going to set up Passover to be held in their individual houses. And everybody has the Pesach feast and ceremonies there. Then after that, we can all come together for unleavened bread. I would never suggest a location that is contrary to how the Most High tells us to behave. So with that being said, the question that you asked, sisters, I know it's like a rhetorical question, but we are demanded to keep the Pesach and the Feast of Unleavened Bread set apart, sanctified, holy, and we're to keep it within our designated locations. All right. Venues as such, again, YirmeYah said this from the beginning, and it's not to condemn them because they've already been corrected throughout their own. Yasha'Allah has done a wonderful job of chastising. All right. They've done already their repentance video. But I'm going to make this statement. It would have been wiser to have rented a huge 1-2 Airbnb. Oh, we don't have those available. Okay. Well, everybody come to my house. See? Everybody, hey, listen, okay, we're gonna have to split up house. We're gonna have to do it some other way. But the venue that was used, it wasn't wise. All right, and they've already confessed their fault to that. All right, so I hope that the answer suffices you. YirmeYah.
Let me say this too. We're also commanded in Exodus chapter 23 to have a holy convocation, right? That holy convocation is a gathering, right? It's a gathering of us together. So if you could host an event or create an event in an atmosphere that is holy and set apart, and it's been purified, because we usually, before the event start, we usually have some of the elder brothers purify the room with frankincense and myrrh and a multitude of other hyssop and a multitude of other things that we can purify the room, right? If it's a venue that is held for other things, the room can be purified before the people come in, right? So every summit, this happens every summit, and all praise to the Most High. We have a Levitical priest, our elder Levitical priest Kahan, who he always purifies the room before the event starts. You understand? So these are things and steps that we can take, right, in order to create an atmosphere that is holy and that is acceptable to the Most High for a convocation, which is a gathering of us coming together, right? So I just want to make that clear. Me and Karat Desire, we have a meeting that we have to get to, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this thing up. But I wanted to make it clear, brother. Can you give me Matthew 7, 1-3? Right, I want to make this clear. My whole purpose, right? This video is entitled "YirmeYah Addresses the Nation Concerning the Sicraii situation. The reason the Most High put this on my spirit, because I wasn't going to do it. I actually contacted Joshua. I said, "Hold up, we're not going to touch this, right? We're not coming out in front of this because the brother wanted to address it because he had his spirit was dealing with it as well, and he reached out to me. I said, "Well, hold up, before we do anything, because I didn't want to be affiliated with the gang saying and piling on. Because I had emotions about it when I first heard about this whole thing, but I received counsel concerning. Shout out to Priest Daniela. Priest Daniela, if you're watching, also I just sent you the link. If you want to come in and say a few words before we get out of here, you're more than welcome. It's in your messenger. I talked to Priest Daniela, and I said, man, I don't know if I should address this, because me and Sicraii, we got history, right? So I don't know if I should address. So I'm just not going to say nothing. I woke up this morning, and I mean, it was already bad going back, like leading up to this, like, social media was on fire concerning this topic already, right? So, I was just patient. I talked to my elder, Nathaniel Allah, who I've been in counsel with all week concerning this. And we were just waiting because, like I was saying earlier about the spirit that Gorilla Hebrew had initially, and then him humbling down, which I thought was great and excellent in the spirit of the Most High.
Excellent.
You understand? And I want to commend you for that, Gorilla Hebrew, if you're watching. I want to commend you for that. You understand? And I want you to continue on and magnify that and increase that humility. And moving forward, my dear brother, I want you to make sure that you're mindful and your brothers in your congregation are mindful of condemning people when they make mistakes. And I want everybody that's watching to be mindful of yourself. Because that's what it tells us in Galatians 6:1. We got to be mindful of ourselves. Give me that Matthew 7:1.
Matthew 7, verse 1. Judge not, that you be not judged. For the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you seek the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye?
Yeah, exactly. So it is important that it says, judge not lest ye be judged, right? Judgment is not talking about your damn opinion and what you think about what's going on. Judgment is executing certain actions upon a person without righteously weighing a matter and allowing those that are in authority, in a position of authority, because these brothers got elders, and the elders are handling the situation. It's not something that's getting swept under the rug. It's something that is being handled, and these brothers are going to suffer, and these brothers are going to be restored. Whether you like it, love it, understand it, believe it or not, we don't give a damn.
Right.
These brothers will be restored through the spiritual power of Yahweh Ba'Shema Mashiach Yahushua, man. Right? And they're going to go on to do greater works in the spirit of humility, learning and benefiting from this situation, man. And ultimately, that's all we can ask for. Just like the woman that was caught in the act of adultery. Read that Matthew 7:1 again.
Judge not, that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And with the measure to use it, will be measured to you.
See that? That's very important. And I want to make sure I leave that in your mind and in your spirit. And listen, I see y'all in the comment section. Let me make this clear. Every camp, organization, every assembly have something that they need to work on. Everybody has something that they need to improve on. So these doctrinal issues will be addressed, right? So everybody has something that they need to work on. So we all need to improve. We all need to improve. And again, we are in the transitioning process. I be telling these Christians that I be on with all the time, well, why you brothers ain't doing everything that you're supposed to be doing? Negro, allow us an opportunity to grow, please. Allow us an opportunity to stumble and make mistakes and become better at what we're doing, so we can continue to be the bearer of light to the rest of the world without you looking to tear us down before we even begin. Right? So, Crowder Zayah, Elder Nathaniel is on my bumper, man. So, Josh Chu, man, is any words you want to add, brother?
Man, I came in late, but from what I'm seeing in the comments, man, it's like, what's y'all brothers' understanding on casting stones? Because they feel it looks to me that the people in the comments are saying they shouldn't be judging, not judging, correcting behaviors. Is correcting behaviors the same as casting stones? Because that seems like
no, it's not. It's not. The casting of stones actually happens after the judgment. The correcting of behavior happens whenever we're actually giving the sermon, like, listen, you've done wrong. This is what this needs. Matter of fact, you got that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1. We're going to read Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1. I seen the one brother, he put a statement up there. He said he better not never see us call nobody wicked, because he who has without sin can't let a cow. That just goes to show, look, that's the downfall of calling yourself an atheist, because you show that you don't know the scriptures. And we can show you the scriptures.
He don't know the scriptures.
He can take time. He can learn them. He can listen to us, and we will help you to understand the difference between the two. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon, quick, and this is for the brother that said, we better not see you. Listen. If I see something that's wicked, I'm gonna say it's wicked. If you're eating a ham sandwich, if you're having sex with a man and you're a man, if you're breaking the Shabbat, these are things that I don't do. So therefore, I'm at liberty to tell you. I don't have to worry about the beam in my eye on this one, because it's already been plucked out of my eye. All right, I've already seen my optometrist. Okay, Yahweh Shai, he's already helped me with these issues.
That's right. Excellent position too.
All right. Excellent. How can I miss my optometrist? The one who broke bread, bled, died, and rose. So the point is to say this: when we're throwing stones, that's actually like, okay, this is your judgment. Boom. To say this is wisdom. Don't do this or do that. All right, go ahead, read that, please, brother.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. It's ye that be judges of the earth.
Stop. Read that again.
Love righteousness.
Love righteousness.
Ye that be judges of the earth.
The Most High said, ye that be judges of the earth. So us children of Israel who study the Most High's laws, statutes, and his commandments. Moses was a judge. See that? Noah, the one who was like, everybody stop doing what you're going to do, or the Most High is going to kill you. There's nothing wrong. And we got our minds twisted to thinking, can't nobody judge us. We rightfully and righteously can judge each other. This is why we read Leviticus chapter 19, and it said what? Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Don't let him go through that wickedness. I have been rebuked and corrected many times in this walk, and each time I got better. I didn't hold a grudge. It broke my heart. I went through the whole process of being dakah.
Right.
And each time I've been corrected, I've gotten better. So the Most High said, love righteousness, ye that be what?
Ye that be judges of the earth.
And what else?
Think of the Yahweh, of the Elohim, with the good heart.
So we're supposed to think of the Most High with the good heart, read.
And in simplicity of heart seek him.
So Mr. Atheist, man, which that's listen, an atheist is a stupid title, because even calling yourself atheist, it still says that you believe in something. Your belief is to say that you believe in nothing. So it doesn't work. So it's better just to seek out the Most High with the simple heart, simplicity of heart. Just start asking when you're on your bed, while you still have time. Ask basic questions to the Most High. When you can call yourself an atheist all you want, but I'm going to encourage you and everybody else that's at the sound of my voice, look for the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Look for his son. Seek him out while he can be found, because when the day comes and he can't be found, it's going to be too late then. And I guarantee you, Mr. Negro, you call yourself an atheist, but your grandmother or your grandfather, somebody in your family had a relationship with the Most High. Sometimes we go through religious, spiritual hurt, and it discourages us, and then we want to rebel and turn away from the Most High, but he ain't turned away from you. You're borrowing his breath. You're borrowing his life. So the Most High says, seek righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. All right? To seek for him in simplicity. Go ahead.
And of heart seeking. For he will be found of them that tempt him not.
So the Most High will be found of us if we don't tempt him. Just believe in him, have a conversation with that Allahiyah, that power, the something that you know is greater than yourself, and he'll reveal himself to you. Go ahead.
And showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him.
So he will show himself to you if you do not distrust him. Now we're still on the subject and topic of judging, casting, throwing stones. We're still on that topic. But first, what you got to do is you got to look for the Most High yourself so you can learn righteous judgment. Go ahead.
For forward thoughts separate from
froward thoughts. Great job. Froward thoughts. If you have froward thoughts in your head, I don't have to do this. I can do whatever I want. Do as thou wilt. These are called froward thoughts. These things separate. They separate you from the Most High. Yahweh's always calling out to you, brother. So if you don't want to say it right now, man, you can do it in another time frame. Yo, you really got to call on Yahweh. You got to call on his holy and his only begotten son, man. You got to do that for your own soul salvation, because the bad thing is going to be when it's too late. So my objective is
we're not gonna continue to cast pearls amongst the swine, man.
Okay, I agree with that, but it might not even be for him. It might be for somebody else that need to hear it, and he's just going to be the catalyst. Because one time, Zaquan Nathan Yalla used me. He told me sometimes you got to use poo poo caca to catch the flies, and we're trying to catch. So, brother, if you want to hear this, good, but maybe it's not for you. It's for somebody else. We do have to go down a meeting, but all you got you have to call up the Most High. The Most High calls us judges of the earth. So it's lawful for us to righteously judge you if you're doing something that's outside of his ordinances. And if you're operating with froward thoughts, then those froward thoughts will separate you from his love. Go ahead, read, brother.
For froward thoughts separate from the Yahweh.
Go ahead, call out.
Tried. And his power, when it is tried, proveth the unwise.
So the Most High's power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. So a blaze of heart, the internet is full of trolls. We agree. Me, YirmeYah, and the rest of the brothers that's on this line, our first objective is to teach our people repentance and to persuade, to draw, to fish for you to come back to your Allahiyah. All right. So yes, there is a difference in between judging and casting stones. All right. Casting stones is a literal act of executing the judgment. Judging is telling you right from wrong, and telling the person right from wrong is lawful. I yield the floor.
All praise and glory, man. I sincerely appreciate you, brothers, man. The brother Yasharala that came on, you got any words, brother, before we get out of here, man? I appreciate you reading for us so much, man. Sincerely.
Oh,
it's all good. It's all love, fam.
Right. Did I say his name wrong? Karatazayah, the brother you brought on?
Oh,
he's
Allah.
Okay, cut. No, I'm talking about the brother on the screen.
Are you talking about the brother that's pointing to himself on the screen right there?
Yeah.
Khan, his name is pronounced YirmeYah Allah. YirmeYah Allah. YirmeYah Allah. Khan. I'm going to put his name in the back chat so if anybody wants to look him up.
I mean, we have an opportunity to bless the word a little bit, allow people to get a perspective, because that's the difficult understanding of it all. I mean, everybody has their own. So if we can capture what we can as far as perspectively wise, but as long as we're keeping the truth, not only with the Most High, but what is actually the righteous walk. And when people come together, there's going to be some misfortunes, and hopefully some blessings. So our goal is to stay on the blessed side and stay balanced with the Most High, keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That's all we can do.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, man. Who is that? Yashar, General Yashar, you there?
Shalom, family. Shalom.
Yo, shalom, any word before we get out of here, brother?
Nah, man, I just want to say, man, I appreciate you, Ak, for stepping up and stepping out, speaking up, doing what we're supposed to do for our brothers, you know what I'm saying, when we make mistakes. None of us is perfect. And I'm gonna be the first one to say I'm definitely ain't perfect. So, if you see me making mistakes, I would definitely ask that you correct me and not slander me. You understand? It's a difference, family. So think about that. Now you're the mic. Shalom, loved ones.
Come, man. All praise and glory, man. We appreciate it, man. Right. So, YirmeYah, man. Any last words before we get out of here, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, man, Yasha'Allah, the last words that were spoken were words of wisdom. Tawada for saying that, for coming forth and bringing forth your sincerity, for saluting, and also for commending for correction. So Yasha'Allah, what we want to encourage everybody to do is take everything to a higher standard. All right, the book of Baruch, chapter 4 says, as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so be it, return and seek him 10 times more. All right, go one step higher. Use every situation as not only a chance to grow, but a chance to develop Yasha'Allah. All right, I'll put the phone number for the brother YirmeYah in here. All right, he's right here in the city gates of Puerto Rico. He's a brother that I was reading for participate and come. Okay, Con. For anybody that would like to come and participate in Pentecost in Puerto Rico, I'll put up the brother's phone number. It's 787-5981-535. Okay, that's the brother YirmeYah. That's his phone number right here in the city gates of Puerto Rico. And I want to end it off on telling all Yasha'Allah. That's right, Diamond. Welcome on and say, hear the whole video before false judgment. Great job, Diamond. So we want to commend everybody and encourage you just to take it a step further. If you see talebearing, gossiping, backbiting on Facebook, on YouTube, in social media, please don't give way to sin. Do your best to sometimes just hold your pose. Just be quiet, sit back. The best thing to do is to contact anybody that you may know that's involved. Become a diligent witness. Become a good witness in Yasha'Allah. Don't be a talebearer, backbiter, sword of discord. All right, and we'll end off saying Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, to the law and to the testimony. If the people speak not according to this wise, it's because there is no light in them. All right. So with that being said, I commend all of you for being good brothers and sisters in the truth. Remember, we're still in the feast of unleavened bread. We are still to not have any yeast, any leaven in our coasts. All right. Don't have it in the trunk of the car. Throw it away. Don't have it in the closet. We're just not going to eat it. No, get it out your life, because that's just like tucking away sin and hiding it. And don't go into environments to where you know it's unclean. All right. So we love you all. Please be obedient to the Most High and give love and support to the community. If you know anybody in Sicraii, reach out to them. Be supportive. Maybe invite them to another event with you. All right. Show support to the nation of Israel. All right. And help your nation to grow. With that being said, Shalom Lakum. YirmeYah.
Family, let me ask you two a question before YirmeYah. Let me ask you two a question before we end this, because I really don't appreciate what the sister said about so we just sweeping things under the rug. It's an order that we have to go by. Even though I'm not a part of the camp, this is what the Most High has structured us by as righteous people. Not moving recklessly, doing what we want to do because of how our feelings move us. Okay, sis. Don't mistake my tone as disrespect, because this is how I get when people agitate me and they don't understand how we carry ourselves and how we conduct business amongst each other. Now, our elders, right? As the brother said, the elders are taking care of this business. And while these brothers are out here handling business amongst the people, as orderly people should, you understand, handle business. So
Right.
when you have a disagreement, or you have a situation where your husband is not treating you right, get with our elders, right? This is how we conduct business. You don't go to YouTube and think screaming and hollering at about what you feel like is abuse or whatever the case may be, going to get you the results you're looking for. That's not how it works in Yahushua, okay? So sis, please, if you have a problem or a disagreement or a grievance, find a righteous elder and address that elder with those issues.
So let me step in real quick. We do have the government of Israel does have what's called a grievance protocol form. And as the brother said, just, going about things a certain way is not the right thing to do it. We have two different types. All right. You can contact YirmeYah and you can contact myself. And this is for everybody that's in Yasha. We go through an actual officer Torah-based inquiry to where we fill out a form with you over the phone. We have multiple officers that will help you in any occasion or case. And this is for brothers and sisters, whether it be anything from death to adultery, to a theft, to an offense. We do not, it is the Most High said that we are to hear every matter, great and small. We are not to wrest judgment. So just because a person says the phrase sweep stuff under the rug, your terminology doesn't make our actions true. We have actual documents which are called grievance protocols. We have two of them. One of them is Torah-based and one of them is non-Torah-based. Okay? So if anybody would like these forms, if you have a grievance that you would like to bring forth before Yasha, you have to do it the correct way and you have to come with witnesses. Otherwise, your case will not be heard. YirmeYah, would you like to speak on the grievance protocol, procedure, and documents that you and me have both filled out and worked on?
Come, all praise and glory, man. Again, these are steps that you can take, that we can handle things in-house, where it might not be a situation to where you could go to the enemy, so-called government of the United States, but you could turn to the government of your nation, and we have set protocols in place. These protocols can be reviewed, and they can be looked at and examined by anybody that wants to see it at amasharayashala.com. Okay, right? So these are things that you can do if you're having grievances in your marriage, and you need counseling concerning that, whether it be a domestic violence, whether it be, and we condemn all these things too, by the way. We don't agree with domestic violence. We're totally opposed to that.
Agreed.
Okay? Love our sisters, and we don't turn our sisters away when they're having an issue with their husband. Okay? So, and we don't turn the husbands away when they're having issues with their wife. All right? You may have issues with your children that you need counseling on. You may have an issue with a brother that maybe wronged you. You ordered a pair of armbands such as these, right? You ordered a pair of armbands and they didn't, and you spent your money and you didn't get it. You can fill out a grievance protocol.
That's right. That's right.
You may order some frankincense and myrrh, and you got and they didn't come. You can fill out these things, and there are steps that we can take. Most importantly, there will be documentation that will be forever kept concerning whatever.
Right.
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 Not only that, if you're a part of an organization, a camp assembly, we don't give a damn what organization or camp or assembly it is. We will contact that camp and assembly, and we will take the steps necessary to resolve that issue. We are
no
here,
respecter of persons.
right. We are here to work on your behalf to the best of our ability in the spirit of righteousness. So that means you have to be right. If you're wrong, we're going to tell you that also. Okay? So, again, there are counseling that is set up, protocols that are in place, and documentation that will be documented forever concerning. So if I had a problem with camp such and such, and then another brother or sister have the same problem with camp such and such, there's documentation in the track record concerning this behavior. When someone come and ask about camp such and such, that's not a good place, and we have the documentation to prove that it's not a good place because they have refused right correction. Right? So if you operate with the spirit of YirmeYah, this is something that you want to be affiliated with because it's for our benefit.
Absolutely. Dawada. And me and YirmeYah have partaken in many of these cases. We do not believe in sweeping things under the rug. It is illegal for us to be unjust judges. It is illegal for us to be respecter of persons. So again, if you would like to have a grievance protocol procedure filled out, that shows the seriousness of how you would like to have the matter handled. Or if you would just like to be a person that would just like to speak loudly and make a public display. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and this will be my last scripture. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, we're going to start at verse 1. Now, this is dealing with the grievance protocol, documentation, paperwork. Everything that we do is based off of, everything is Torah based. All right. So we're going to get 1 Corinthians chapter 6. We're going to read verse 1 through verse 3. And if you need to do a protocol, a grievance protocol procedure, we will fill out the paperwork for you. We will fill it out for you. We'll talk to you. We'll do everything according to how the scriptures tell us to do by righteous witnesses. All right. We can fill out the documents over to our phone. We can forward it over to you. You can fill it out, send it back to us, send the copy back. We can do everything that Esau and his system can do. We have official notaries. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. Baba Kushah.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. Dare any of you having a matter against another go to law?
Go to who?
Go to law.
How dare any of you having a matter against one another go to Facebook first? Go to YouTube first. Go to the police first. Go ahead.
Go to law before the unjust.
Before the unjust. Put all of Yasha Allah's business out there before the unjust, before bringing it to Yasha Allah first. Go ahead.
And not before the saints.
Supposed to bring it before the saints first. Read.
Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world?
There you go. So forget all the only God can judge me, believers. That lines right up with Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, where we're told to seek righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Do you not know that we will even judge who?
Of the world. And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
The smallest matters, whether it be he bit me, or whether it be I didn't get my order. We had a case where a brother committed something that we can't even say on camera. The man and the woman were both righteously judged. Both of them righteously took their sentencing. And you haven't never heard of the matter, but we got it on file. So no, we will not be sweeping anything under the rug. We will be making a public display. And praise the Most High that we are under the grace of Yahushua, because for real, a lot of us, including me, should be put to death for offenses that we've already.
Right.
And that's the major part right there. Okay. So we're up under the covering of the blood of the Messiah. All right. So don't forget how to be merciful. We will not be sweeping anything under the rug. We will be righteously dealing with and looking at each and every case that comes before us. So if you have any questions, you can contact YirmeYah. Yada Allah, his number is up here. It's 787-59-81-53-5. Is that the correct number up? All right, you can contact this brother right here in the city gates of Puerto Rico. He's our administrator here in the city gates of Puerto Rico. My name is Karat Zayah. You can find me at 614-999-2677. You can find me Isaiah Yasha Allah on YouTube and on Facebook. Okay. If you contact me, please contact me by way of WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. All right. Don't forget to be merciful first, Yasha Allah. With that, I yield the floor.
Right. Yeah, so we appreciate it, man. I just want let me just say this, man, in closing, right? Concerning when you're responsible for an event, it's your responsibility to create an atmosphere that is digestible for everyone involved. You want to create an atmosphere that brothers and sisters can feel comfortable in to the best of your ability. And so that means you're responsible for others' comfort, right? So this is not about you. You take yourself, you set yourself to the side, and you think about others' experience that they're going to have. A lot of people, this will be their first Passover they have experienced. So this is something that's going to stick with them for their entire life. Most High will, they will have many more after that, but they will always remember that first one, right? So you're responsible for that, right? So we do not condone any of these type of accusations of creating this atmosphere. We're saying that those that are hosting the event are responsible for the atmosphere of that event, right? So with that being said, man, I want to say peace and blessings to you all, man. We're going to pray for Sicraii, pray for their restoration, pray that those brothers are restored, pray those brothers have the spirit of humility, right? And any other issues that may arise, because this is not the only issue that's going to arise with Sicraii. Neither is it the only issue that's going to arise with me. Neither is it the only issue that's going to arise with any of us. You're going to make a mistake tomorrow, right? And so it's our job to work towards walking in the spirit of Mashiach Yahushua, Mashiach Yahushua, who the word we call Jesus Christ. It's our duty to walk in that spirit to the best of our ability as we all are working and striving to make it into the kingdom and be a part of that number, man. So with that being said, man, we're going to go on and get up out of here, man. Me and Karat Zayah got another meeting that we got to get on right now. So with that, man, I want to say peace and blessings to you all, man, right? Shalom, thou.
Shalom. Kwame Yasharala.